we understand how this black hole or a singularity causes destruction, and this white hole is
Okay.
creation.
Mhm.
How do these relate back to EVOs, and how is the transmutation process occurring in this specific scenario?
Wow. Well, so the EVO, that's your charge cluster effect. And so is that actually distorting the near space, I guess is kind of the best question to ask it. And so that black hole there, that's fascinating. So were you is the thought that that is the black EVO or is it something
Yeah,
else?
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
we're wondering.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
so that's what you're wondering. Yeah. My goodness.
And this is a screenshot that I'm pretty sure I got from David Wilcock and your conversations like in the past on this
Okay.
disclosure, I
Mhm.
believe. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, is there a transformation occurring between the black and the white hole at some point?
Yeah.
A transformation of materials or the change in okay, so this gets into the whole question that Ken had raised about whether or not this is actually able to distort space-time, and is there such a thing as a micro black hole that we can create?
Yes. Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't know. I haven't done this experiment. I'm not sure if that is really a space-time distortion.
Right.
Uh, but he purported that it could be, and this is where you get into the whole issue that Ken raised about uh, EVOs being a pathway towards uh, interdimensional travel or UFOs. The issue with the whole UFO phenomena is they occasionally just disappear.
Yeah.
And what is that disappearance? And is this actually a type of transportation? Is it going into a different dimension?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it also brings up the idea of portals. And so this is just beyond a transmutation of elements.
Right.
Mhm.
It's actually affecting space. And there's kind of two big views of the universe. One is that these massive things like black holes and space phenomena, large space phenomena, cannot be replicated on a small scale.
Right.
That's one general view, that it's massive. It requires tremendous amounts of gravity, that only a collapsing star will achieve anything like this.
Yeah.
Um, the other aspect is the thought that there are subtle energies in the universe. And that's really where the 0 point energy idea comes from. It doesn't come from, but it harkens to that. It's that there are subtle energies in the universe, and that you're able to do amazing things without a whole lot of juice, without a whole lot of power.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing here is not, I mean, these are not multi-megawatt reactions. These are, pretty much tabletop demonstrations that end up achieving something that could be really remarkable. And even when you look at, alleged flying saucers and things like that, small spacecraft, these are not big devices. These are, within, you know, a physical reality that's pretty tangible. We're on the order of 20 to 100 feet. They're not that huge.
Yeah.
How do you generate energy? How would you generate the levels of energy needed to traverse the universe? Especially maybe you don't need to. And so what's neat is that this may be a doorway into that. Of course, I don't think from this setup here they have the ability to measure, any distortions to space time or anything like that.
Right.
Be good to repeat this experiment with, a full blown astrophysics oriented laboratory with proper meters and
Yeah.
measurement devices.
That brings up a great point because this is something that perhaps maybe we should try at some point. Lacey and I were thinking about
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. so recreating the experiment. So getting your input is fantastic, Chris.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, could it even be teleportation is kind of what you're saying also, I think, hey?
It could lead to technologies that could result in a teleportation. Maybe. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say it's not. I mean, I don't, are these, I mean, clearly you have something black floating there that, is that actually a hole in space-time, or is that something else? Is that a charged object that is just absorbing everything around it in terms of light? And if that's the case, either case is really pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
The luminous part is pretty easy to understand conceptually. You're just like you're getting the charge clusters will produce this luminous
This effect.
output. Yeah, this effect. It just does.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think Lacey's actually got another question
Yeah.
on this as well that it kind of might relate, it might not. It's
Yeah.
just something she observed. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I was looking at this and I noticed these rings right here that are kind of coming off of it, and we see the same pattern on the WR140 star. And I was wondering if you knew, like, if these two kind of like related. I know you were kind of talking about kind of like the subtleties and stuff, but how does this what is going on here and how do they kind of relate to each other? Because it kind of seems like something's going on with both of them.
Well, I think when there's observational effects, like when you do any type of physics experiment using a splitter, and like a laser beam with a beam splitter, and you can get, different diffraction patterns and wave patterns. And I think that's more what we're having here on the right-hand side, that we're dealing with something that you're seeing light coming through gases and other materials that are acting like a splitter. That said, and on the image to the left, you're getting into well, I don't necessarily know if it's a camera distortion effect or if that's actually a visible effect. Now, in the case of both cases, if it's not distortion and not cameras, and if it's not, gases causing some diffraction, and this pattern, well, then yeah, it could potentially be some effect caused by the reaction. Now, here we have a star, and I don't think the star is doing any charge cluster type activity. It's probably just a star.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, you're getting, there's just these kinds of patterns based on how it propagates.
Yeah, because I didn't even actually notice it until Lacey showed it to me and then brought up the WR140 thing. But it's diffraction pattern or interference pattern is
interference patterns.
Yeah, what I kind of understood. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So yeah, I think this could be an experiment that we might want to do in the future, and try and figure out how to get set up so that we can measure things the way that you think we should on the left-hand side there. That'd be kind of neat in the future to do.